look how beautiful prayer in a certain place was. Chigav, doira, darbuka, gitara, in the kaneso. Is it allowed according to the halakha to do? It was making it very interesting. Everybody was fired up for the tefillah. But the question was, is it allowed or no? Oh, let's see. So the Shulchan Aruch, Rav David Yosef, the son of the chief rabbi, the Rav David Yosef says, Asur le'achnis kli negina lebet hakneset. You're not allowed to bring doira, darbuka, all these things into the bet hakneset in order to make a prayer. B'sh'at tefillah, whenever they are praying. Ben b'Shabbat, ben b'Chol. Doesn't matter if it is Shabbat, if it is Yom Chol. Not allowed to bring any instrument that they play with inside Kaneso. First I have to tease you, then I'm going to tell it. Ben b'Shat Tefillah, ben Shalom b'Shat Tefillah, ben Bet HaKnesset, ben Le'ezrat Nashim, even in the women's section. They're going to bring the Doira, the Darbuka in the women's section. Says Rav David Yosef, even then it's not allowed. Says Rav David Yosef, but when it's a problem, only whenever you're bringing those instruments on a daily basis. Kavua. Every single time. He says, what's the reason? The Hatam Sofer lived around 300 years ago, 280. He says that in that time there was a movement of reforms. A lot of people tried to mock, to follow whatever the reforms used to do. They used to do the same thing in their kaneso. Comes Hatam Sofer, right? It's not allowed to imitate, to follow whatever the reform people are doing. And they used to bring into the reformed places, they used to bring the piano. And the piano, they took it from the church. In the church there's piano. And then the reformed people put the piano inside the kaneso. Comes the Hatam Sofer and says, we have prohibition, not allowed to make ourselves look like the reformed people. Therefore, you cannot bring those instruments inside Kaneso. Rav David Yosef says the same thing. Says Rav David Yosef, that's only when you're bringing the piano to be there at all the time. But if you are bringing it on an occasion, for example, he says, whenever there is a simcha, whenever there is a simcha, such as simchat bet ha-shoeva, siyum masechet, achnasat sefer Torah, yesh le'akel baze. Whenever there is a reason to make a simcha, to be sameach inside that time, you're allowed to bring the instrument. You see? At the beginning we said not allowed. Everything has a reason. Says now, halacha, question to you like this. Rosh Chodesh, Brit Milah, there is an obligation to make simcha. Siyum Masechet, some person finished Masechet, there's obligation to make Simcha. That's the Gemara Masechet Shabbat. There is any celebration, Bar Mitzvah, there is obligation to make a Simcha. What about Rosh Chodesh? Is there an obligation to make a Simcha on Rosh Chodesh? There is Rabotai in Halakha that says that on the Rosh Chodesh has many proofs. The two brings it, Bet Yosef brings it, many sources bringing it, that there is an obligation to be extra sameach, extra happy during any Rosh Chodesh, especially the Rosh Chodesh of Adar. So therefore, whoever brings instruments, darbuka, doira, all these type of things into the prayer of Rosh Chodesh, since it's an obligation to be sameach, since it's an obligation to be happy during the Rosh Chodesh, it's allowed to bring even inside the Kaneso, because it's not every day, it's once on Rosh Chodesh, especially the Rosh Chodesh of Adar, that everybody prayed with fire, prayed with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with a lot of excitement, with the instruments, with the music, and that's halakha 100% permits.